Hey, stop scrolling. Let me ask you something. Have you ever studied for hours, Martian, only to forget everything the next day? You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just using the wrong method. Welcome to the Genius Method, a system based on how your brain actually learns. We're not talking about memorizing for one night. We're talking about remembering for life, ready to study smarter, not harder. Let's break it down step by step. Oh, and stay till the end if you want. To boost your grades without adding more hours. Deal. Your brain is not a robot, and studying isn't just about uploading data. Too many students treat their minds like hard drives, expecting to cram facts in and pull them out on demand. But your brain doesn't work that way. It's alive, complex, emotional, and constantly changing. When you understand how it actually functions, you unlock the ability to study more efficiently, remember more deeply, and avoid burnout. Think of your brain as a living garden instead of a storage unit. Every time you study, you're planting seeds of knowledge. But if you want those seeds to grow into strong, lasting memories, they need time, attention, and the right environment. That means managing stress, using rest strategically, and engaging actively with what you're learning. Cramming, by contrast, is like throwing seeds onto cement and hoping for flowers. The most important realization is this: learning isn't passive. When you read or listen, your brain isn't just absorbing, it's trying to make meaning. It looks for connections, patterns, and emotions. That's why information tied to strong emotions, personal experiences, or repeated exposure tends to stick. Your job isn't just to take in information, it's to help your brain find meaning in it. And here's the twist: what feels like hard study isn't always what helps. Reading the same thing over and over without pause might feel productive, but your brain stops engaging after a while. Instead, real progress comes from focused input, followed by mental processing. That processing happens best during breaks, movement, sleep, or even while daydreaming. Surprising, right? Another major point is to understand how your brain handles attention and memory. You can't pay deep attention to multiple things at once, and your working memory is limited. Overloading it with too much too fast causes you to lose focus and retain almost nothing. That's why long, unbroken study sessions often leave you feeling exhausted and confused instead of accomplished. When you study in a way that goes against your brain's nature, you end up frustrated. You might feel like you're failing or that you're not smart enough, when in reality you're just using the wrong tools. The Genius Method doesn't make you a genius, it teaches you how geniuses think and learn. And it always starts with understanding the biology behind learning. By learning to align with your brain instead of fighting it, you turn studying from a chore into a superpower. You begin to see patterns faster, absorb concepts deeper, and most importantly, you stop forgetting everything right after the exam. And that changes everything, from your confidence to your performance. So the first step of the Genius Method is this: respect the way your brain learns. Don't fight it. Don't force it into all-nighters, chaos, or multitasking marathons. Start working with it instead of against it. Because once you unlock that natural power, your study game transforms forever. Let's get one thing straight. Long, never-ending study sessions are not a badge of honor. They're a trap. Many students believe that the more hours they spend with their books open, the more successful they'll be. But in reality, studying for 5 or 6 hours straight does more harm than good. Your brain wasn't built for marathons. It was built for focused sprints, followed by recovery. The Genius Method is based on the science of study cycles, short, powerful blocks of concentrated effort, followed by deliberate, refreshing breaks. Why? Because your attention and memory both begin to decline after 25 to 45 minutes of deep focus. After that, your brain is just going through the motions. You might feel productive, but you're not really learning anymore. That's where tools, like the Pomodoro technique, come in. You study for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break and repeat. After 4 cycles, you take a longer break of 20-30 minutes. It's simple, but it works because it gives your brain time to reset, refocus, and rebuild energy. These short breaks are not interruptions. They're part of the system. They're what make the study time count. When you study in cycles, you train your brain like a muscle. You build up endurance gradually, not by force but by design. Just like athletes need rest between sets, your brain needs space to absorb, make connections, and recharge. Trying to force hours of uninterrupted concentration is like lifting weights without pausing. It leads to injury, not gains. Most students make one big mistake after finishing a study session. They move on and never look back. But here's the truth. Repetition is the foundation of memory. If you don't review and reinforce what you learned, your brain will start to delete it. That's not a flaw, it's how your brain avoids overload. The real learning happens when you come back to the same material at the right time, with intention and strategy. This is where the spacing effect comes in. Reviewing. The same topic after 24 hours, then again after a few days tells your brain, hey, this is important. Keep it. The Genius method recommends you revisit what you studied at least 3 times. Once right after the session, once the next day, and again within the week. Each time you return to the material, your brain builds a stronger and more permanent connection. But repetition alone isn't enough. You have to engage with the content differently each time. Don't just reread your notes. Try summarizing what you remember out loud. Teach the concept to a friend or even to yourself in the mirror. Or create a mini quiz and test yourself. This technique is called active recall, and it's one of the most powerful learning tools ever discovered. When you struggle to remember something and then get it right, your brain strengthens that memory like lifting a mental weight. Another smart way to reinforce learning is through reflection. Ask yourself, what was the main idea? Why does it matter? How can I apply this in real life? When you take a moment to reflect, your brain links new ideas to old ones, creating a stronger network of understanding. You start to see how everything fits together, and that's when true learning sticks. So if you want to stop forgetting everything a week after the test, stop thinking of studying as a one-time thing. Make it a cycle. Repeat what you learned. Reflect on what it means. Reinforce it through action. This simple habit can turn a weak memory into unshakable knowledge, and that's exactly what genius learners do. Here's the deal. Your brain doesn't care about random facts, it cares about meaning. If you study something without connecting it to anything real or personal, your brain is likely to forget it fast. But when you make the material relevant to your life, your goals, or your interests, it sticks like glue. That's the secret to deep learning. Make it matter to you. Think about it. You can remember lyrics to songs you haven't heard in years, or scenes from your favorite movie, even though you never studied them. Why? Because you were emotionally connected to the content. The same rule applies to academics. When you turn history into a story, math into a real-life challenge, or biology into a question about your own body, you activate curiosity, which is your brain's learning fuel. The Genius method encourages you to always ask yourself, how does this connect to me? If you're learning about a scientific process, imagine explaining it to your little cousin. If it's a historical event, think about how it shaped the world you live in today. If it's a math formula, apply it to something you care about, like managing your money or designing a game. These mental links act like anchors, helping your brain hold on to new knowledge. You can also create analogies, metaphors, or even jokes to personalize what you learn. Turn boring facts into challenges or characters in a story. Let your creativity take over, because learning isn't just logic, it's imagination. The more senses, feelings, and ideas you connect to the topic, the deeper and longer it will stay with you. That's not just fun, it's neuroscience. So don't just memorize, personalize. Every time you learn something new, ask yourself how it connects to your world, your dreams, or your story. That's how information turns into transformation. And that's how you stop being just another student and start becoming a master of what you know. Most students think the grind ends when they close their books, but guess what? The most important part of learning happens after you stop studying, while you sleep. That's right, your brain isn't off during the night. In fact, it's working overtime to organize, sort, and solidify everything you studied during the day. Sleep isn't a break from learning, it's the final step of the process. Scientific studies show that during deep sleep, your brain transfers information from short-term memory into long-term memory. It's like saving your progress in a video game. Without it, everything gets erased. Students who sleep 7 to 9 hours consistently perform better, retain more, and feel less stressed. On the other hand, those who pull all-nighters often forget what they studied, even if they spent more time working. Sleep also enhances problem-solving, creativity, and emotional control, all things you need to succeed in school and in life. When you're well-rested, you focus better, make smarter decisions, and learn faster. But if you're running on fumes, your brain slows down. You might be awake, but your memory isn't working at full power. Skipping sleep is like studying with a broken pen. It feels like progress, but nothing sticks. The Genius method treats sleep like part of the study plan. It's not optional, it's not a reward, it's a critical ingredient. That means no more bragging about how little you slept. Instead, start treating rest like fuel for your brain. Protect your sleep like you protect your grades, because the two are directly connected. Rested students are sharper, calmer, and more confident. So next time you're tempted to trade sleep for study, remember, sleep is study. It's when everything you worked for gets locked in and stored. Want to be a top performer? Don't just study hard, sleep smart. That's how geniuses rise while others burn out. Now you've got the blueprint. You know that studying isn't about endless hours, late-night cramming, or stress-filled marathons. It's about cycles, focus, personalization, repetition, and, yes, rest. The Genius method is more than a study hack. It's a mindset. It's about working with your brain instead of against it. It's about building habits that actually last. But here's the most important part. You don't have to be born a genius to learn like one. You just need to act with intention. Study smart, not just hard. Take control of your time, listen to your mind and body. Use science, not struggle. Because once you learn how to learn, no subject, no exam, and no challenge can stop you. So here's your challenge. Starting today, apply just one principle from the Genius method. Try one study cycle, reflect on one topic, personalize one idea. Block out one distraction. Prioritize one full night of sleep. Then see how different you feel. Real change doesn't start with doing everything. It starts with doing something consistently. And now I want to hear from you. What's one Genius method technique you're going to try this week? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's build a community of students who learn smarter, not harder. If this helped you, smash that like button, send it to a friend who needs it, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next brain-boosting video might just change your entire study. Game, you've got the brain, now use the method, go win.